I mean, I'm excited to talk to you, Tony, because we got a lot to get into, even over the course of like 3 episodes. It was a short amount of Tony time, but there was a lot packed in there.
Man, I haven't even watched the episode yet. They haven't let me view it. I wish they would have let me view it, watch it before I started doing my interview. So you're gonna like refresh my memory here.
There we go. I'm going to give you some choice quotes because, yeah, there was a lot of reaction in the room to the stuff that was going on with you in this
Oh boy.
episode. Oh, and I got to start there because, even to your face, there was a lot of expression. And we'll certainly get into what led you to make the decisions that you do. But all these sort of declarations of like, Tony doesn't want to be here. This is why he's doing it. He wants to go home. So before we get into all your thinking behind the decisions you made, let's get this down first and foremost. Did you want to be there? Or were you, as people were accusing you of doing, throwing in the towel by doing this stalemate?
I wanted to be there just as bad as anybody else wanted to be there. That's a false narrative. That's fake news. It's not something I enjoy hearing. And the interviews that I'm doing, I'm hearing that it's more and more prevalent. That that's that is the narrative that's going around is, oh, he didn't want to be there. He didn't want to be. And I can remember hearing Avery say it in the room. I was in the bed. I can remember her saying, like, he don't even want to be here. He's checked out. And then I can remember her telling TJ in the sand, like, and I don't think he wants to be here. And I'm just like, I'm trying not to take offense to it, right? Because this whole time, me and Avery have gotten along. Like, you're not going to be able to see it. They're not going to show it. But I talk to Avery probably more than I talk to any other girl, any other woman out there.
Hmm.
We had a great rapport. I feel like we had a good friendship, good relationship out there. Like we confided in each other. She talked about how she kicked things off with Adam after All Stars, because we were on All Stars for a little bit together.
Right.
And she was great out there. And man, I just thought she was a great person, and we really got along. So for her, and I'm talking to her about my family and the reasons of why I'm out there and why she's out there, and she's got something to prove. And it's like, hey, I'm finally coming back to the flagship. Like, I gotta kill it. Like, this and that. So for her to come and say, oh, he don't even want to be here. Oh, he's checked out. It's like, whoa, I'm not checked out. I told you that I miss my family, and that, hey, yeah, I'm FaceTiming them. And yeah, of course, I'm tearing up a little bit because I miss my family, but I'm also out here for my family, So, for her to say that, I think it was just disingenuous, and I don't, I try not to take offense to it, but it does, man, it hurts my feelings.
Hmm. Well, I mean, on that point, let's stick with Avery because, like you said, you had sort of built this rapport. So, how did that inform your ultimate decision to not come to a decision to say, okay, I think I'm going to be able to, have Avery back down at this last second? How confident were you there would be a stalemate going into the elimination?
Well, I don't know if I was confident, because now I was confident in what I proposed. I was confident in what I told her. I was confident in that, hey, I'm not going back. This is what I feel like is best for my game. And if we can't come to a decision, then I'm not afraid to go down there in the sand. Now, when I say that, I'm very, very confident in it, and I believe it. But at the same time, I'm hoping that, hey, she's going to take that as, I don't want to go into elimination. I'm not trying to go home. I got a lot to prove out here. I'll try to figure something out with Derek. He's my best friend. He's my boy, whatever. Like, he'll go ahead and take this one for me. I'm not going to take this one for him. Right. So that was my whole thing. Either she's going to go ahead and accept Derek going in and kind of go along with that, or we're going to come to a stalemate. And my contingency plan was like, we'll get down there. We're going to say we're in a stalemate. And Derek's going to be like, no, Avery, no way. You're my best friend in the world. There's no way I'm letting you do this. And he's going to go ahead and go down. Like, that was what I was relying on right there. Because I figured she was going to be a stubborn, because Avery, I don't know if it really comes through, if it translates through TV or not, but she is a very like, she has a lot of heart. She plays with a heart. She's very like, I can't think of the word right now, but you could tell when if she's down for you, she's down for you. And that it don't matter about her game or anything else. It matters about that bond that she has with you. So I could tell she was gonna stick to it. But I'm thinking, okay, but there's no way Derek's gonna let her do that. So that was my
Hmm.
whole backup plan. That was my contingency. Was like, all right, we get down there, we're gonna make a little show. I'm like, hey, I'm not budging. And she's like, well, I'm not budging. And Derek's like, okay, I'm not gonna let this happen. Tony, you're an asshole, and he was gonna go down there. Boom, done.
Hmm.
That was my
Well,
mindset.
so let's say that you do end up beating Darrell and make your way back, because you even clock in the episode that like you're getting the stink eye from a bunch of people, and you know that there are people that are coaching Darrell along as opposed to you. I mean, I would imagine one of the reasons why you want to make this big move is because you kind of feel you're on the bottom of era 3. But what were your feelings if you had survived that elimination? How your chances would have been of survival upon going back to the house?
I would have been battling either way. I'm battling either way. I'm battling within my era. The other eras, I'm actually trying to like form some kind of like alliance with them outside of my own era because nobody in my era has got my back except Devin, and there's only so much Devin can do, right? So I come back from that elimination, I'm battling. Either way it goes. So uh, my mindset would have been, look, guys, this is what's best for my game. Everybody out there that's a true challenger knows you got to throw everything out the window and you got to do what's best for your game if you want to make it to the end to get to that final. Everybody knows that. Now, also at the same time, everybody knows the best way to make it to a final is not to go into elimination. So I was between a rock and a hard place. But again, I made the decision, stuck with it, and I got to live with it.
So, I mean, one of the things that caused those complications on Era 3 was you coming face to face with Cory. And, the last time that the two of you were on a season together, it was quite wild to say the least. And he is one of the people that does end up, assisting with Tori to send you into elimination. So, talk to me about kind of hitting unpause on that relationship that's been going on 5 years.
Yes. So, and maybe they'll show it later on, but what wasn't aired was me and Cory actually had a conversation and we actually had some resolution, with that whole situation. We, it was actually at the introduction, the first episode. I forget what the episode description was, but we talked there and he came up to me like a man and apologized and admitted fault, admitted he was wrong. And I know that over the years, he's had a lot of growth. He's done a lot of growing himself. And, he's got a beautiful family. And for those 5, 6 years where we didn't talk, we didn't communicate, we didn't even like one single photo of each other's on social media. So and we'd seen each other before at the airport and at the hotel and stuff like that, but it was very awkward. It was still very standoffish. And for him to call and said, "Hey man, I've been wanting to have this conversation with you for a long time, and I wanted to do it on camera so you know that it's real, like, and so we could capture this. And I want to come to you as a man and apologize for what happened, years and years ago." I said, "Man, that's all I needed from you." And right there, we swept under the rug, we squashed the beef, and it was a moment that I wish they could have shown because I feel like it was a special moment between us, especially because of what happened. Right? It was big, and it actually showed they went to a flashback, one of Cory's interviews, to say he was like, "Hey, all right, y'all go ahead and show it," and they showed the body
Yeah.
slam. So for us to kind of come to terms on it and have an understanding with each other again, and have a challenge friendship again was nice because before that with the body slam, man, me and Cory's always been cool. We started these things together on Bloodlines. It was our first challenge together. We did pretty much everyone together up until that point. So for that to happen and then they it not get shown was disappointing, but yeah, I guess it's all for naught because this guy throws me into elimination. Like we make up and then you throw me into elimination. But if you connect the dots, right, and you look at all the different relationships within my era, that was going to be really, really hard for Cory to make a move and to try to save me. Now, if he would have saved me, now we could work together. Maybe I'm your number one, but at the same time, he knows that I'm Devin's number one. He knows that in the back of his head. So he would have been my number two, even if he saves me. And then now he's the odd man out because he throws in Jordan, right? Or he throws in Devin, and Devin has ties to Tori. They're best friends. So Tori wasn't gonna throw either one of them other guys in. Let's be real.
Right.
That's her
That's
ex
the thing.
fiance, who they're still, like best friends, and then you got
Hmm.
Devin, who is literally her best friend. So it just wasn't going to happen. And I understand the move, of course, but there's no hard feelings whatsoever.
Yeah.
It would have been cool though if he pulled that trigger and showed he was a man. Just boom, let's go, Jordan. Yep, you in there. I know you're the best player here. I'm getting you out early. Let's go. Got to pull the trigger, but he didn't. And yeah, you gotta respect people's game.
Well, similarly, let's talk about someone that in the past, at least, you had bad blood with that was able to make good. Johnny Bananas. So obviously, the two of you were partners together on Final Reckoning, your last main flagship season, and he does come to you in this past episode, telling you, "I don't think it's a good idea to try to force this stalemate. Avery's not going to back down." But you think back to when he's cheering for Leroy as a sign to say, "Okay, Bananas doesn't have my best interests at heart." Talk to me through a little bit of that logic in your relationship.
So everybody knows the history. Anybody that watches the challenge understands the history. I came in with bananas, and he was somebody I confided into, somebody I confided in, and we just took a liking to each other, right? We gravitated toward each other. Looked at him as like a big brother in the challenge, this and that. But at the end of the day, Johnny is a true challenger. He's always going to do what's best for his game. Always going to do what's best for his game. Now he's got ties, and you know he's got strong ties to Leroy. I get that and understand that, and maybe I shouldn't have took that in a way of like, oh man, like you're gonna root that loud for Leroy, this and that, But
Mm.
what happened with us on Final Reckoning, and then going through what we had to go through together on Final Reckoning, and then even after filming Final Reckoning, hanging out afterwards, and just the bond and the brothership and us getting back to a good place. I thought he would have handled that situation a little better. Yeah, like Leroy's your boy, 10+ years, this and that, but like, come on, what about me? Like, it's hey Lee, like it was just very obvious of, hey, you didn't really want me there. You didn't want me there. And then so if you coming up and you're trying to give me advice, it's like, why are you trying to give me advice? You was just rooting for me to go home. I don't. It doesn't. Something's not adding up here. And even it's probably not. They probably didn't show it, but after the elimination, the next morning, he's sitting there trying to give excuses on why Leroy lost, instead of giving me my flowers on how I won and how good I did. It's like Leroy's not even there anymore, man. You can't even come give me my props now. So they didn't show that either, but that was something else that like rubbed me the wrong way. Um, so yeah, for him to try to come and give me advice, yeah, look, he's the banana man. He's done more than anybody and all this and all that. But at the end of the day, I still got to do what's best for my game.
Mm.
And at the time, I figured the decision that I had made was best for my game.
Yeah, I mean, to that point, I don't know if you've heard some of these comments yet, but certainly someone like Ryan expressed a lot of disagreement with your decision. He had called it what you did a masquerade of ego. Said that the reason why you were doing this is he quote you couldn't digest the fact that a woman might have the final say. I mean, what's your
Oh,
reaction to that? Because
that's such low hanging fruit. That's such like, come on. I that why I just um that's the easy target. That's like, oh, look, this big old guy and little Avery, and oh, you need to do what Tony says, and Tony's gonna you gotta. That's not the case at all. I'm not looking at like, oh, she's a woman, she's got to do what I say, or a masquerade of ego or whatever. Like it's you're a challenger. I'm a challenger. This is what I think is best for my game. This is what you think is best for your game. Okay, we have a disagreement. You have a disagreement. You come to a stalemate. Guess what you do? You go down to elimination. It's not anything else. Like I don't feel like, and I haven't watched the episode obviously, but I don't feel like I was super aggressive or like in her face. Like, you got to do what I say. You're gonna do what I say. Like like that's just not my character. It's not who I am. It's definitely not who I want to come across as on TV. Like that's I've made huge strides from the Rivals 3 days and things like that. So it's like, yeah, that had nothing to do with my decision at all. Or that wasn't how I wasn't trying to come off that way at all.
Mhm.
And so I masqueraded my ego. What was the other quote? What was the other one?
yeah, as you were bringing up that
It's hard
you
to
could
digest the fact that a woman. What is it?
that a woman would have the final say.
Yeah, okay. My wife's gonna laugh at that one. My wife, she runs the house. She's the boss. Like, come on, get out of here.
Well, last thing I want to ask you mentioned this a little bit earlier with a moment of resolution between you and Cory, but if you had the opportunity to show us something that we didn't get the chance to see, and I know you haven't watched the episode yet, but something like strategically, personally, comedically from your time in Vietnam, what would that be and why?
Oh God. My memory. I have such a bad memory. I'm the worst at this because I do have a horrible memory. But them showing the slingshot fight was awesome.
Mhm.
Trying to think of any other stuff we had like that was going on. We had. You're gonna show the tug party tonight. They showed a lot of good stuff. One thing I wish they would have shown
Mm,
leading up to this, and I think it would have made it a little better for TV. Show a little more of me and Avery's conversations, like
mm.
the good ones. Like show a little bit of that, and then show like how it turned, how it just went from night to day. Like it flipped on itself. I think that would have been nice, because Yeah, we did. We had some good conversations, but that's probably one thing I wish they could have shown. I can't think of anything like cool off the top of my head, to
No,
be honest. But
no
yeah, that's
worries.
it.
Well, yeah, thank you so much for getting the chance to open up and talk with me. Obviously, it was a very eventful time that you had in the house. And I know that we keep running short on Tony time these past couple seasons, but it seems like you say you're in the best shape of your life. I imagine this has almost like invigorated you even more to keep, reigniting this challenge career. And so I don't know, unless I'm putting words in your mouth, I'm excited to see what you do next.
Hey man, if the challenge guys are willing and I'm fortunate enough, Tony time will continue.
There we go. Well, I'm happy to take some Tony time today, man. Thank you so much for taking the time to talk with me. All the best to you and the family, and thanks so much again.
Same to you, I appreciate
All
it.
right, take care. Bye bye.